We're back again. This is review for 17th of April. Now, if we really think about it, we do not always win. There are days when we lose, and there are days when there is absolute slaughter, and you have to realize when to walk away. As we move ahead in this day, you will see the slaughter. All right. Uh, the day started with a European session. The market opened around this area. If you look what happened earlier before the market opened was we had a very clear push higher, and even before the pre-market we had a push higher. I was looking for areas to buy, and when we started going around these areas, I wanted to place a position and I divided it into two. Had half here and the other half when we cleared this range. I wanted to use a small stop, to be very honest, and I was thinking the market would reverse somewhere around, if not this area, then around this area, looking at what has happened earlier, and it clearly failed when we had a 50, 60, at least 60 points candle, and I started to get worried, closed half of my position as I saw a retracement, and I put a stop around 80 points. I was thinking of this area. Now I've closed half of my entire 100% position, and then I had other stop around here. It was a hard stop, and when this candle was formed, I was of the opinion, of the idea that maybe, but it didn't work, and I got stopped out. Very quickly I realized we noticed two things after this big push lower. If you look here, we went above prior bar high and we started selling, and here as well above a prior bar high, and there was a push lower, and I closed my position seeing it, and now I was waiting for an opportunity to sell. And where we'll do it, we'll do it above prior bar high. We didn't had any opportunity until this candle wasn't high. We could have sold it here. I wanted a better price, and you can see it in a 15-minute chart in a little while. And when we went above this area, I sold it with stop around this area. It was a tight stop. We always keep it this way. This was a mistake of keeping a big stop. The stop was tight and small, and the reason was if prior bar high are supposed to work, they work very well with very little stop. This is even 20 points maybe. Yes, this is 20, 25, 30 points, which is not much, and clearly this worked. We had a push higher and then it started trading lower, and when after this high push we came all the way back, I sold again, which is added to my position, and I was of the opinion and I was thinking that we would clearly see a new low, and that was my target. It was a very choppy ride. When I saw this that we went above a prior bar high and we sold off, I was feeling good, and when we came back I was a little worried. We had stops in place, but the market was kind of in a range, and the range was around this area, and if it wants to trade more lower, it will do what we'll generally see, is take out the other side only to trade lower. And when market pushed lower, I moved stop. Both the position stop was at break even, and I was expecting at least a new low first, and then maybe if luckily I get a runner. Even if we look at it, it's an A, B, C, then I was expecting a D which is lower. Didn't work out, we got stopped out, so we had a losing morning. Let's look at 15 minutes if we missed something. This was a strong sell, and we got stopped out around this area. I had my buy around here, tested those areas, and this was the first prior bar high, which is where we sold. Had stop around this area, we got saved, it moved lower, we move our stop, came out, and then this was another sell for sure. I mean, in general you would not do it, and the reason for not doing it is, if you look clearly, there is fishing signal, one. Secondly, you would see that the market had a chance to trail lower here, and if it tried something and it's failing, you cannot always be sure what it would do. And then when it started trading lower, there was no prior bar high opportunity, so it was a tricky day. We lost. This is not even the worst part of it. It was fine having a break-even trade and a losing trade, but what happened in the Nasdaq and Dow Jones, that was a massacre. The market opened around this area, and after the opening we started trading lower. It was clearly weak, and then it found a support. It tested it and started moving higher. With the strong push, I bought above this high, added to my position, and the thing that I did wrong here was, this side was very quick one, and when we traded below a prior bar low, that is where I should have added this position, and this should never have happened here. This is where we break our rule. We add it to a losing trade. If you'll see, we don't add to a losing trade unless we're taking a very small position size, which is 50%, and I want 50 at a better price. Only then when we do it, and it is very rare that we do it, and we did today. That was a clear signal that we're not following our rules and we should step away, but we did not. We wanted to fight it, and it came all the way down. I got stopped out, and when it cleared everybody around there and it had a strong close. I bought it again with a stop below here, and I saw it moving higher. I moved my stop higher and I added. If you look here, we had the first opportunity to buy below a prior bar low here, and I added to my position, and very quickly I got stopped out after it didn't work, and I put again below a prior bar low here around this support area, added to my position here. I was hoping for a big runner, and the reason I was doing it was, if you would have looked at the European indices, they were marching higher very strongly, and I was of the opinion that same would happen in the Dow Jones and the Nasdaq, and that was maybe the mistake. It was clearly not happening, and you trade what you see, not what you believe. And I was clearly, this was right. Adding here was also right. I had a stop for this position around there. This stop should have been here. I had a bigger stop, and this was also clearly wrong. And then looking at try something and not happening, I thought maybe it wants to trade lower first, test these areas again, and I shorted it, and it was out of frustration as well. If you would clearly see, we already lost here, even on our ads, here on our ads, here one break even and one ad lows. We should not have traded. We should have closed this session, and we had one of the biggest loser ever. It was absolutely massacre what happened. So when this candle closed very strongly, this was one of the buy that we did, which was below prior bar low. This was also, I think we did this, what we did below prior bar low, but we didn't had the momentum which could have pushed very much higher. We should have sensed it, looking that there's a selling pressure as well. Anyway, there's a lot to learn from this day. We should get back to it even in our further reviews to make sure we don't do what we did. Look for prior bar high. I looked for this bar high and had a stop at a 15-minute bar high, got stopped out here, and if it is not working, I thought maybe buy would work now. I bought right after the 15-minute close here when it wanted to push higher, added to my trade here, and this was a mistake again. In terms of the idea, it was right to buy below a prior bar low, but in context that we already had to buy below a prior bar low, but in context that we already had positions, we should not have done it. And top, there was a lot of up and downs happening, but it was looking weak. Every try to push higher was failing, and I moved my stop right around this area, and I got stopped out, and this fucker moved higher, and I bought the breakout, which was wrong, very wrong. I mean, of course we have after the fact, but it was so wrong. If this is a range, I am buying a range high. Very wrong. And after I got stopped out, and I bought again, added to my position, had a tight stop. This position stop was also moved higher, got stopped out and moved higher, bought a below prior bar low, got stopped out. Worst will come to it again, even in terms of 15 minutes. So this was a very strong push higher. We bought here, and then if you look at it, we had an hour of absolutely going above. Works. And sometimes when you feel there's a momentum, you keep stop to break even and let it run. Absolutely slaughter. All right, we would definitely make sure these things don't happen. One, never to add to a losing trade, never. And also place right orders, and what I mean is buy at good price. It has to happen below prior bar lows, which seems to be the general idea how it works. And yes, okay, we'll we'll make sure these things don't happen. All right, I'll see you